Welcome to we are the Untold Stories Project, and tonight we present a new episode of our Border of Rage game, our set in White Wolf's World of Darkness as part of their Wolf the Apocalypse game line. My name is Jonesy, and I'll be your storyteller this evening. Quick note for those unfamiliar with the World of Darkness: this is a horror setting where the players take on the role of monsters. In our case, Guru, better known as werewolves. Uh, uh, Quick note about the content of the stream. This is a horror game where the players will engage in adult language and may engage in graphic violence from time to time, usually against forces of the worm and other horrible monstrosities, but still. Uh, that may not be everyone's cup of tea. So if not, we do encourage you to check out one of our other streams instead. We have a Mutants Masterminds game every Monday, and right now we have a Fallout game, tabletop RPG game, runs on Wednesday nights. We also have an awesome Pathfinder podcast that has new episodes every Friday. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and jump in and have my pack introduce themselves.
Hi everybody, I'm Alex. I'm still playing Darren Schaefer, who is the a Getafenris Arun pack leader, also known as Nexus Slayer, also known as Thrower of Cars and Smasher of Ratkin, and the creator of the Turducken Warhammer. I'm looking forward to having a great stream tonight.
Hey everybody, I'm Aaron. I'm still playing Kennedy, Blood on the Dance Floor, a once upon a time aspiring Irish dance champion who is now a very, very angry redhead with issues. She is a Galliard of the Fianna tribe and is totally loving being in cyberspace.
Hey everybody, I am playing Killian Jackson. He's a Glasswalker Ragabash of a New York City, I wouldn't say low life, but midlife, who was feeling invincible with his brand new powers, and then suddenly he's left-handed. So everybody's humbled.
Did you say you're a midlife, not a low life? Is that what you said?
That way I can have my crisis and be in character.
I love that.
He's a white collar life.
Same.
So with that, we do have one additional pack member, Dell, our Lupus, who cannot join us this evening. So his picture will be replaced with the pack totem of a raccoon.
I need you all to know that I have a raccoon for each of us if we go missing.
And a different one each time for each person.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's great.
This is the Dell raccoon.
It's adorable raccoon.
So Jonesy, if you ever need to miss, I have a raccoon for you too.
It would be an interesting stream without the storyteller.
Right?
So, a couple other quick housekeeping notes. Real quick. We are a small independent channel. Very small, very independent. So with that said, we do strongly encourage those who like what we do to spread the word. If you like what we do, awesome. We're glad, and let your friends know, and people that you might think might enjoy it as well. I'm sure I'm missing something on my checklist. So other quick thing is, if you like what we do and you decide to subscribe or share or all that stuff, you can actually impact the stream. You can impact the stream and impact the players by giving them bonus dice, by liking, sharing, subscribing, all that kind of cool stuff. So with that being said,
like Jonesy just did.
So,
Jonesy, who would you like to give your extra dice to?
My bonus dice are going to the storyteller.
That's fair. Checks out.
Seems very biased to me.
Yeah, well, I am the storyteller.
I am the knight.
So with that, quick recap of what our pack's been up to. After finishing up their mission with the Valkenburg Foundation and helping right some wrongs and getting situations back in fairly reasonable hands to get the Foundation back on its feet, the pack has now returned to New York City, and we're approached by a kinfolk who was sent to deliver 3 tokens to them. These tokens were going to open up doorways into the Umbra, which they were supposed to go and recover something. So that being said, they used the first token, opened a pathway in an abandoned subway tunnel in the depths of New York City, and ended up in the cyber realm, a far off distant realm in the Umbra, which is the spiritual realms that envelop in most of the planets in the universe they know of, including and then deeper realms as well, the cyber realm being one of them, where they basically have been running around trying to get answers to why they were sent here, what's going on. That led them to a couple of confrontations with some ratkin that were serving some Trotem of the Worm, and along with just trying to find their way to the bowels of the Spider City in the Cyber Realm. They eventually came face to face with a being known as Legend Lore. He is a powerful Weaver spirit who, yeah, that's where we're going to pick up. A couple other quick things before we jump right in. I do want to note that is one of our players' birthday today. Woohoo! So I'm actually going to give him a some bonuses tonight. So we'll see when those trigger. So
That's so kind. Just give me something big to throw at somebody. I'll be so happy.
And we also had a sub.
It was me, and you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and give you the extra dice, Jonesy. I'm feeling froggy today.
That's some birthday luck right there. Birthday bravado.
I have a whole lot of bonus dice, just so you know.
I believe in you.
So
do I. That's why he doesn't need the help.
So
I believe in us too, guys. We're gonna have a great story. It's gonna be so much fun tonight.
So when last we saw the pack, they were trudging through the lower bowels of the Spider City in the Cyber Realm, and they had been approached by Control, Alt, and Delete, a trio of Weavers, pattern spiders, serving the Weaver, who were delivered a message that they indirectly gave you the token to get you to where you're at. And then you were supposed to find a being known as Legend Lore. You managed to make a Cyber Realm GPS sort of thing, killing with his hacking skills, and found the lair of this creature, spirit creature.
That's terrifying. Doesn't have a face. He just has his symbol.
Yes, because I couldn't find a really cool piece of artwork for it.
That's more intimidating.
His face is a symbol.
So, Legend Lore appears to be a large 20 foot across spider-like creature with a torso of a man and multiple arms, as well as its multiple legs. There are many cables connecting its back, its head, and its torso up into a bank of computer monitors that kind of wrap around in a half dome. All the monitors are different shapes and sizes and kind of all lean in and cascade light around you. Right now, they all have this kind of green tint to them, that old school monitor CRT kind of look.
I'm scared. It's like the Xenomorph Queen crossed with the Architect.
A little bit.
And as you are sitting there, it kind of leans in a little bit, and the cables get kind of pulled a little bit.
Oh man.
Who speaks for your pack, Children of Luna?
I am the alpha of this pack, but our glass walker is the one that you should speak with.
Hmm.
I'll just sort of nudge Riverdale forward.
That's very generous of you, pack leader. But I believe he asked for you, and I will nudge him forward. We both stand side by side, looking into death.
I'll stand next to you. We'll stand next. I'll stand next.
There
to you.
we go.
Dell takes a step back.
Yeah, I've got a Nokia. I am not the person who needs to be talking to the Glasswalker spirit or the Weaver spirit.
Right?
Do you speak gun? I can talk gun.
So, what brings the four of you to my domain?
We were given a clue or a gift by Owl. It was a subway token that led us down here. Besides that, we don't have much more direction.
Step forward, child of Roach.
I will take a very small step forward.
Seems to be looking you over. And as it starts kind of turning, tilting its head, right and left, kind of looking you over, from above, nestled somewhere in the small little tiny gaps of the monitor screens, a little green light kind of beams out, and as it does, it fans out. So it's this thin line that kind of just scans down from top floor to ceiling.
Is the light hitting any of us, or is it just kind of going through the whole room?
It kind of scans the whole room, top to bottom.
If I can avoid it, I don't want the light beam to touch me. I'm just gonna... I've seen the cube. I'm not messing with that.
Ooh, can I tell him about the dream I had where everybody was died? I made that lady in the black trench coat with his spiders.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that.
So is there any parts of that you're leaving out, or?
I'm telling him everything I know about that particular dream.
Interesting. I have much information I can shed upon, and possibly shed some light upon that. And as he does, the monitors kind of flicker up, and you start seeing multiple pictures from news feeds and of New York City and LA and Morocco and China, and just a couple from satellite feeds. So they're actually shots of the Earth from orbit, kind of blank on. But I would need something from you.
Of course, we always know the road. What's the trade you have in mind?
In this case, it's he seems like to be like processing something for a moment, and it's, we call it liquid assets. I'm sure you have a different term for it.
You mean
Do
money?
you mean like Quicksilver, or do you mean like when you bankrupt and we sell everything we have to pay a debt?
More like this, and he kind of, what his lower limb on his torso kind of on his right side kind of reaches out and kind of waves a hand, and as he does, a small little section of the floor opens up, and a little pillar comes up. It's like maybe 6 inches across, and pure steel slides up, and the top kind of opens up with an irising little window, and a small little vial gets brought up. It looks like quicksilver. It looks like liquid silver.
Oh, wow. I'm a good guesser.
Um,
Is it like spiritual quicksilver? Can I hold it?
you can make me actually anyone can make me a wits and enigmas roll.
I'm actually pretty good at that, so I will roll it, even though I'm not sure Darren would know what's going
Right.
on. What's the difficulty, Jonesy?
Difficulty is going to be 6.
I'm going to feel its power while I inspect it.
No clue.
Sorry, my roll is coming. 0 successes. Wow.
Here I come.
We're off to an auspicious start, fellas.
I know one thing, and that's at least 10 worth of it, so I got it.
So
roll a 1 with a 10.
well, it makes sense because you're also the closest to it, so you get the best view of it. And from the more you're standing with everything going on, it's kind of hard for you can kind of see something sloshing in the bottom. It's a little bit more difficult for you to see. Killian kind of takes a little half step forward to get a little better look at it. And somewhere kind of deep in your subconscious, you realize what you're looking at. It's Gnosis given physical form.
What? That's wild.
Whoa.
Kennedy, how do we manufacture Gnosis for production, if you had to guess?
We don't, but we can channel it into things.
Oh.
And
So-
spirits play by different rules than we do.
So is this like a blood drive situation?
Can you take Gnosis from a dead thing?
Not as a-
Normally not.
I was gonna say, we've got 6 dead ratkin upstairs we can borrow some Gnosis from.
I used to have a whole armful of Gnosis. We could have just given them that.
Yeah, not as a rule.
That's crazy.
I will ask the Great Spirit for a recipe or how we can get them more.
What does rage look like?
It's just chili powder.
Little
Chili powder
climate.
packets.
So how do
And-
we get you more?
Oh. You step forward.
Oh. Here goes nothing. I'll go ahead and step forward and present my left arm from the left, or however you do.
If you had to put it in a term of game mechanics, how many points do you need?
You do not know these points you speak of.
We need a Malkavian. He'll translate for us.
You step forward and you kind of put your arm out, and as you do, several small little mechanical arms kind of descend rapidly from the ceiling. You have a little, and you see several little needles prick and extend out, and then prick into Killian's arm. And they extract what looks like, instead of blood though, they're extracting what looks like silver liquid from his arm. You go ahead and make me a Gnosis roll.
Sure. I got. Oh, there's no pull mod. Okay. I got 2 successes.
Awesome. with that, you're able to control a little bit of the flow. Uh, they're taking at least 1 point. How much are you willing to let them take?
Killian doesn't know what a fallacy is. I currently have 5. I will give him 3.
Okay. And then you kind of almost will it, and when to stop, and when it does, they no more the vials stop filling up. They disengage and slide back. The arms retract back into the ceiling.
I don't feel as lightheaded, but who's next?
A little bit. You actually do feel a little lightheaded, and he's like, "Please, child, take another step forward."
I will take my 4th step forward.
So now you're pretty much close and in pretty close personal space with this gentleman, and he kind of reaches out with his left hand, and as he kind of reaches out towards you, not like grabbing, but just kind of slowly reaching out towards you, his hand actually begins to looks all mechanical now that you're close to it, and it looks like it's made out of chrome and silver and plates and stuff, and it starts opening up, and panels start moving, and the parts start sliding apart, and it quickly changes from a hand to almost like a series of vines, and cables and ropes, cables and wires, and as they extend forward, and the little tips of them kind of have what looks like almost like electrode pads.
Is he just gonna beam this straight into my brain instead of telling me?
Nope. And as they start landing on, they start connecting to your arm and stuff. All the monitors kind of flicker, and all at once become one shot of the room, looking straight, basically looking at what he sees from his point of view, which is looking directly at Killian.
Interesting.
So, as he's standing there, the image just changed, and you see an image of a woman wearing an all-black outfit and silver goggles, and now everyone is seeing what Killian saw in that dream.
Oh my god, that's her?
As I suspected, you've drawn the attention of Proxy.
Oh.
Let's find out why. And as he says that, the images kind of flicker out and flicker back in, and you see what appears to be Killian, or someone has a striking resemblance to Killian, wearing a kind of a light blue linen shirt, hand sewn, hand tailored, not very well, and a kind of a ragged looking dark blue wool coat, and has a small little woolen cap on his head. He's trudging through the snow of what looks like somewhere in the northeast, given the terrain and given the it's pine trees and rocks and in the distance you can see a couple like a old farmhouse, things like that. And he seems to be walking towards a small town. Like when I say town, I mean literally village, like 7 buildings and like a couple outlying buildings, and then that's about it. And he's heading towards what looks like a church. And it's an old whitewashed 1 steeple, 1 room church. And as he approaches, it's late at night. The moon is a crescent moon, and it's a slight little bits of snow can still be seen kind of around the ground. And as he gets close, the light from the church is spilling out, and you can see there's some blood blotted amongst the dirt and the snow on the ground out front of the church. Inside the church, you see what looks like a bunch of pews kind of knocked over and moved around, and carved in the wood is a weird box shaped sigils with small different little letters and sigils in the different for each of the four corners, and there's multiples of those around the room. And up in the front is a priest wearing very much a homespun priest garb, handcrafted, and he's covered in blood. And around him there are multiple dead practitioners. And with that, Killian shifts into Krynos and takes the guy out.
Any of this recalling striking a chord for you?
This is just a second viewing. I don't reckon. Do I recognize the priest, Mr. Platt?
No, the when you saw in your dream, it was now, and this just definitely looks like a rustic, you know, your best guess is maybe 1700s, maybe, given the clothes that people are wearing and how they're dressed, and there's no cars or anything like that anywhere remotely like that level of technology around. But it is vaguely reminiscent of that vision you saw in the church in New York City during the dream. And then the images flicker and change again, and you see what looks like another young man, probably in his late 20s, early 30s, wearing a duster, cowboy hat, dressed fairly nice, but he does have a 6-shooter strapped to his side in a holster, walking through what looks like Victorian London.
Oh, this is my past life, so it's gonna repeat.
And then it kind of flickers again, and you see Killian. What someone looks again fairly similar to Killian, in what looks like Germany or Poland or somewhere in that region. And given the cars, and it's a city scene, and the cars going by and stuff, your best guess is probably the late 20s, early 30s. And that person walks by and obviously slips something into the guy's pocket as the other guy walks by, and he's obviously passing something to the other guy. It looks like maybe like a small little canister of film. And then it cuts to Killian in his apartment in just a little over a year ago.
His apartment or my apartment?
His apartment.
I have any recollection of any, recollection of any hand-me-down tape or heirloom from that time?
No.
No.
But as you're sitting there, he's like, he kind of disengages from you and says, "Well, it appears that you've been a busy little walker, haven't you? Or iron rider or water man, depending on when and where you were."
Yeah, give it a couple hundred years, it'll change again, I'm sure.
I wonder if it applies for your allies as well. Looks at the rest of the pack. The earliest memory file I was able to obtain, it seems that you were in a small town in what you refer to as New York, and you encountered a being which we now refer to as the Deacon.
The deacon?
Yes.
What does the deacon preach, pray tell?
He's a servant of the worm.
Oh no.
Hate to see it.
Hate to see it.
Um, we know that he and several others were once mortal servants of some sort of worm entity, and upon their death, they've been transformed into some sort of spiritual avatars for this entity. It seems that you have encountered one of these beings, that of being the deacon, at least in one of your past lives. Given your involvement with Proxy during the 1800s, I'm not surprised that she is once again tapped you to be one of her servants. Proxy is a very powerful weaver spirit. She serves the Queen Ananasi. From what I can see in your past life, you were part of a group known as the Queen's Own. They were a pack of Iron Riders like yourself, who fought on her side during the Pattern War Web.
So things are happening again, and she's just looking for the next closest person.
Kennedy, can you make me a wits and enigmas roll, or if you have anything like history that you think might be a little bit more appropriate?
No, wits and enigmas is probably going to be my best bet.
Okay.
All right, let's try it. It's 2 successes.
You vaguely recall, and I'm giving this mainly because of the O'Reillys, your kinfolk allies. The Pattern War Web was a umbral war that basically took place during the Industrial Revolution, where the Industrial Revolution was literally choking the smog and pollution from the city, was literally choking the Umbra around Great Britain.
Gotcha.
And the Pattern War Web spread out from there. It pretty much was the Weaver invading the nearby Umbra.
Okay.
And a lot of it becoming corrupted by the Worm, and so there were multiple factions within the Weaver and the Worm themselves that were fighting amongst themselves and fighting with the Gru. It was rather messed up time period, but the Iron Riders were pretty much the ones leading the main charge during that era. So.
Okay. Right. So, Killian, are you familiar with that period of history or that life of yours?
A little bit. I've had a couple flashbacks to good old Vance, but I remember hunting down Jack the Ripper. I remember, was it our Bone Gnar's old relative that we tried to kill?
Right. Well, the war was all about the lack of balance between the Weaver and the Wild, and the Worm taking advantage of it during the Industrial Revolution. The Iron Riders, they were doing their best to shepherd it through safely and keep things under control. So if your ancestor was a part of that, that's the big deal. And Proxy is connected to that, then we probably need to at least see why she's taken an interest in you now.
Maybe we'll get a third totem.
I'm not really keen on that.
Me either.
Um, well, if your vision is any indication, or at least what Proxy might believe, it seems like the butcher might, the deacon might be returning.
He's not
Not really
related
keen
to
on
the
that.
butcher, is he?
Sorry, do you say that?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask, just casually.
There are 4 known associates of. They all work for some unknown worm incarna.
So the butcher and the deacon, who are the other two?
The herald and the consort.
Oh, they sound awesome. I love acts with one name. Like Cher, Prince.
You know, Darren, there's a thing about don't ask questions you don't want the answer to.
So they're not like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse or anything. Because that would be unfortunate.
We are in the middle of the apocalypse. At least as far as I know. Isn't that right, Kennedy?
That's what they tell us.
And what do you know of this butcher?
He has been plaguing some of my dreams and some of my past life visions. I remember facing him as an ancient Roman, or a barbarian fighting Romans, and he wore the face of many Romans that I'd slaughtered. And he was responsible for some issues we were having at the Valkenburg Foundation. Or he was connected to it. He wasn't responsible for it, but he was involved.
Well, I wonder if whatever you were dealing with at the Valkenburg Foundation cracked open the doors to let these 4 return.
What do you think, Kennedy? Do you think you're having connections with any of the other 2? Consort feels like a Fianna thing, right?
Not necessarily.
Or Herald. I think even a Herald would be a Galliard thing, I would think.
I mean, you're right, but the visions I've been having have all been directly related to the Fae.
Any of these 4 have a connection with like a worm-touched Fae or anything like that? Do they have worm-touched Fae?
Probably.
Yes, that is possible. The worm can corrupt any beings, whether they be guru, kindred, or of the wild ones.
Kindred?
That's what they refer to themselves as. And as he's kind of thinking for a second, you can actually almost see the glowing green eyes kind of give like a little binary look across this thing.
He just Google searched on us.
Yep. Yes, he did. You know them as vampires.
Leeches, gotcha. They call themselves kindred. That's disgusting.
Kindred of who? Are they all related? Is being a vampire in Alabama thing? That would make sense. That would explain a lot about their stunted growth.
They think of themselves as family? Ugh. Want to take a bath in bleach?
We're kind of living in a glass house, being the children of Gaia. Just all of us.
Yeah, but at least we're alive.
That's true. At least we're not blood-sucking leeches.
But this is the topic.
Do you know a way to stop these things? These four bastards? Do you know a good technique for fighting them?
Well, they had to be locked away in the first place for them to come back. I mean, hypothetically.
Well, Depends on they depends on when and where you encounter them. They are creatures of spirit, but they manifest in the physical world. Um, and they have returned multiple times. This would not be the first time any of them have appeared. Um, but I'm wondering if there's a conflux of them. If you've encountered prophetic visions of the butcher already, and your packmate is seeing visions of the deacon, I'm wondering if something has changed.
Do you think we're on this vision quest from Al in order to determine how to put them back in the box?
No, Al is a totem of wisdom. You have great respect. I'm wondering if he's shedding light. Packs are generally gathered to pull together for a purpose. Gaia has plans for that pack.
Well, Guy has had a lot of plans for our pack.
I wonder if that may be the purpose for your pack is to someday face these for whoever they serve.
So I suppose we were sent to the cyber realm to get information, and I guess we'll get more information about the other two with the other 2 coins.
Yeah, do you know about these things? So here's a weird question: are these other talons present in this spirit journey that we're on? Can we physically bring them out and show the spirit?
Yeah, if you reach in your pocket and pull it out. Yeah. As you pull out the Roman coin, it's very shiny here. It seems like it's been polished almost to the point it glows, reflecting all the light.
Yeah, I've got some drachmas here. I don't know if you know what this is for.
I am not certain, but step forward and maybe we can find out.
I'll step forward, so I am now 2 steps behind Riverdale.
Come closer if you wish to have your answers, young Get.
Yeah, I'll come closer. I'll come closer. I'll come stand next to Riverdale.
And those strange little tendrils of cables and wiring reach out and wrap around your arm.
Oh no.
And flickers on this monitor and stuff. And you see visions of big dramatic bushy hair, full beard gentleman. Looks kind of vaguely like Darren. Fighting side by side a what looks like a Black Fury in Krynos form. And I say that because she's got a silver bracer on her arm that actually has the Fury glyph on it, and has another glyph you don't quite recognize. But big burly Killian, dramatic Killian, reaches back and they're attacking some looks like some twisted from Mori, and he brings back and he's slamming down with a big hammer.
That's my big fuck off hammer.
Not yet, it isn't.
Darren swallows the urge to reach out and try to grab it across the veil.
Well, it's literally on the monitors, so it's yeah.
Just scratching the computer screen.
He yearns for it.
Yeah, and actually, it seems like it should be yours.
Belongs to my family.
And then as the thing shifts, you see the image shift slightly, so that's the same couple of them battling, and a couple more what looks like Krynos Guru also fighting side by side. A bunch of Fomori that are wearing Roman armor, and then you see what looks like the butcher, that you recognize as an incarnation of the butcher in his Roman armor. Um, and it kind of flickers and disengages. Well, if you were to fight the butcher, I'm wondering if Al is sending you to get some more information specifically from your past life. Uh, Kennedy would probably be the only one that might know. Kennedy, would you go ahead and make me a perception alertness check? Difficulty 8.
Not great, but sure.
Believe in you.
2 successes.
See?
Oh, okay. So the Fury, like I said, she was in Kratos' form. She had her black fur, and she had like a silver gauntlet on her arm that had the Fury glyph on it.
Mm-hmm.
Had another glyph on it, which you noticed. And at first, you thought, why does she have the silver fang glyph on there? And then you got a better look at it. It wasn't the glyph for Silver Fang. It was the Phoenix glyph.
What do I know about Phoenix as a spirit or totem or?
The Phoenix only has one. It's a totem. It's an uber powerful totem. It only has one pack at any given time.
Gotcha.
They're commonly referred to as the silver pack.
Darren, that glyph on your ancestor's Fury friend, they were a part of the Silver Pack.
What if that's why they're friends and not trying to kill each other? Because usually Get and Furies don't get along.
Well, not typically, but
Or is my ancestor like I am, and it's just a get by circumstance and not a get by raising?
You're a get because you got it. Sorry, that was bad.
Legend Lord, do you think these coins would be able to transport us into a past life rather than just across dimensions, like the cyberspace token did for us?
It depends on the nature of the memory and where you're going. Memories can linger. It could be a shard or a pocket in the Umbra. It could be something else.
If something sufficiently traumatic enough happened, do you think it would leave a mark like that in the Umbra?
It could.
Or even something triumphant. I mean, I guess I'm being pessimistic. It doesn't have to have gone badly for them, I guess. But
Sure, it does not. I mean, the tribal homelands are a perfect example of that. There are 13 umbral realms, which are the tribal homelands for each of the Guru tribes. So, it's possible. Could also be that the place you're going is connected to or related to an umbral echo of another time, another place. Not necessarily your past life, but like this realm is a realm of possibility. The scar is a realm of memory of what of the Industrial Revolution given form. There is similar echoes throughout the Umbra.
so do you think there's something else that we need to learn here from the token that brought us here? Or do you think we need to move on to the next pocket?
Well, I've told you what I can. I mean, unless there's more questions you have. It sounds like you've gotten the answers you need. And as he says that, Killian, you get a memory of a small Victorian row house in London, probably during the height of the Industrial Revolution. And back in the back of your mind, you know where the gun's hidden now. Assuming the building hasn't been torn down, you know where the gun was hidden. You also know that in the 1930s you were a Cold War spy.
That feels nice.
You were a spy during the 30s and 40s.
Aaron, I used to have a shoe phone. Where do I think it's not hidden, but buried?
It's in London.
We're gonna have to get plane tickets or use magic.
My RV can't go to London. I mean, it could, but that would be a very expensive cargo.
And you also, and now after having had the encounter with Legend Lore, you know that you have the memories, some better grasp of the memories from your encounter with the Deacon, to the point where you know it was a small town called Fulton in New York State.
New York State, London.
No, the first encounter you had with the Deacon, that was in New York. And you know that when you encountered him the first time, he was mortal.
So did he ascend to spirithood?
So yeah, after his death, he something transformed, and he is now a creature of a worm spirit.
Well, I'm good on the information we got here. I think it might be time to check out your guys's little coins.
Legend Lore, we're grateful for the information that you've provided us. Thank you for relaying that to us. Kennedy, is there a proper way we're supposed to thank spirits?
I mean, I'm not a Theurge, but I think saying thank you and giving him a gift, which we've already done, is probably the right way to start.
I'll sort of bow my head and look to the rest of the group. Do you have anything else that you'd like to ask Legend Lore before we take off?
Kennedy's coin is burning a hole in her pocket, but she's not really willing to pull it out.
Is she just sitting there, or she actually got her hand on it?
She's probably got her hand in her jacket and is kind of fingering it.
It's warm to the glow. It actually seems to be glowing, like giving off heat.
Oh, God. I mean, I suppose as long as we're asking questions, you're a wise and learned spirit. Do you know anything of this? And she'll pull the coin out.
You got to come 5 steps forward.
Yes. She will step in front of Darren.
That's 5 steps.
Not counting.
Well, she did it in 3. He's got long legs.
She's a dancer.
Kind of looks at her for a second, and that is up the Umbra, but not. All right.
It's connected to the dreaming.
Are you showing them both sides?
Yeah.
And as you're holding it, now that you've taken it out of your pocket, it's actually giving off a little bit of light, like a faint golden light. Not any brighter than like a candle flicker, but it's enough that you can tell for a fact it's giving off light and not just reflecting the monitors and stuff.
Gotcha.
That is not, yeah, that is not of the Umbra, but yet it is. Interesting.
Well,
Um,
I
I do
suppose
not. I do not recognize that sigil,
That's concerning.
and it has this kind of like scrunched up look on its face, like I don't know that, and I don't like that I don't know that.
Right, yeah. I suppose I'm honored to have been able to bring you something new. Thank you for telling us what you know. And she'll bow.
Now the trick is getting out.
Right. Right, I think we're done here. The question is, I think we're going to have some opposition when we go back up topside.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And generally, how do you get out of the Ember, and how do you get out of the Cyber Realm?
Yeah.
You wouldn't download an exit, would you?
You wouldn't download a guru, would you?
Let's.
Killian,
Mm.
make me a Wits and Enigmas check.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be really great if our Thayer could talk right now.
Right?
He's just in shock of all the not nature there is here. I got a
This-
4.
It's a lot for him. It's a lot for Dell to take in.
And you've got your Glasswalker over here getting 4 successes, so
Sure,
Um,
right.
so you don't need a theurge for this. You joke about downloading an exit, but it's more like uploading yourselves.
Oh no. Mm-mm. We're not doing that, Killian. We need a different plan.
Man, I put on a couple kilobytes since I last did that. I don't know.
So yeah, there's a couple options. You can try to get to a junction terminal and access the near Umbra by hacking your way into it and literally hacking your way through it. Or you do know that there's rumors of entrances and exits out of this through a layer that they call the pit, which is below where you're at now.
Okay, guys, you won't like either answer. But we either find a terminal and we upload our consciousness back to reality, or we go down deeper into the hole and we'll come out on top.
Riverdale, that doesn't make any sense.
We're in the spirit realm. What are you talking about?
I mean, you're absolutely right. I don't like either of those.
We are not uploading our consciousness, alright? I don't know if you know this about Star Trek, but they send a copy of you, and they atomize the other version of you. So the person who comes out is not you. You die, and a copy who thinks they're you comes out the other side. It's like the photocopy
Yeah, that's
thing.
that's not how it works in the Umbra. But
How would you know? We wouldn't even know if we stepped through the teleportation thing and we came out as an exact replica with all of our memories.
well,
Well,
then
it's-
we'll never know.
It sounds like Darren voted for the shovel, and I'm also voting for the shovel. We just got to go below the pit.
I trust the pit more than I trust the upload. Not that I don't believe in your hacking abilities, Killian. That sounds messy. It sounds like it could wind up with us with the fly situation or ceasing to exist.
Oh, I
No.
get you. I've made a typo once or twice or 10 times.
It's a spiritual representation. You're not literally turning yourself into ones and zeros. It's just like using a moon bridge.
Moonbridge is magic. I don't trust technology. Magic's easier to understand.
This is not technology. This is magic. We're in the spirit world. Do you think you're standing on a road right now? Because you're not.
Whoa. There is a spoon, okay? Don't give me that crap.
So how hard would it be to go through the pit or to upload ourselves?
Can we ask Legendlord what's more dangerous?
Yes, they're both dangerous. My gods.
What's the fun, dangerous one?
What's more glorious?
So, the lower you go down, the older the technology gets, and going into the pit is basically where the cyber realm starts bumping against other realms and overlapping with them. So, what you know based on that is that the pits and the tunnels that connect to them would be full of all sorts of banes and weaver / worm monstrosities of like cobbled together bits and pieces and parts and different spirits like that. And because you got 4 successes, what I'll say is that you know what it is. It becomes a labyrinth of tunnels down there, at least according to the stories you've heard. And there's another place in the Umbra that has a labyrinth of pathways, and that is Malpheus, which is known as the Black Labyrinth.
You know what,
Don't wanna go
Darren? I am retracting my shovel vote. I would like to go up through the tunnel of the internet.
You know, I was on board until you said Malpheus. I don't want to go anywhere near where Sam Haight is, so...
I was on board till he said labyrinth. I have no sense of direction. I'm not a pigeon.
You just put your hand on the left wall and walk till you get to the center. That's how labyrinths work.
Yeah, well, it's dependent on the size. We could either be there a couple days or dead by the time we get out.
Alright, so we will go ahead and download a guru, or upload a guru.
You're being way too literal about this.
I'm a kid.
The Umbra, we're in a realm of myth and legend and stories and reflections and symbology. Everything here is an analogy. So uploading yourself isn't, like I said, it's not like you're literally turning yourself into zeros and ones and putting yourself on a floppy disk. It's about the metaphor. We're seeking to travel. How does information travel out of the cyber realm? It's following those metaphors. That's what we're doing there. Do you really think a mirror is what's taking you into the Umbra when you leave from the regular world?
Isn't that how it works?
No, it's
a reflection into your soul.
It's metaphor. It's all metaphor.
I don't like metaphors.
Can we borrow a console from Legendlord, or is he opposed to us leaving his bachelor pad?
No, he's gonna let you leave, but he doesn't have a console. He's just monitors.
Oh, okay.
Right.
He's literally plugged into them.
We're gonna have to find a terminal.
Yeah, we'll go back to the Kickstarter place.
Yeah, and you know,
We're not going to go talk to Kickstarter again.
You do know on the Midtown there was you can get to anything. There's a whole bunch of terminals and stuff. And given your gift, you could pretty much turn anything into a terminal.
I
Up
was gonna
there.
say the cyber dogs have to have a way to get back and forth, right?
A lot of them don't leave.
Who gets their Cheetos? Can you imagine Cheetos down here? I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. All right, let's get out of here, guys.
Yeah, thank you for your time, Mr. Lord.
Sounds like the group is going to make their way back up to Midtown, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Awesome. So,
we're gonna wind up as
you-
a drunk text. That's how we're getting out.
so, yeah. So you're making your way back up on Midtown, and as you're making your way around, again, the streets are bustling with traffic and the automaton like people that are proxy people that are running around. You also see the different cobbled together spirits moving back and forth, and it's just a pretty bustling day in Spider City. You do see several of the security bots, the security spiders, patrolling around, and definitely looking like they're out looking for someone or something. And as you're going by, there's neon and chrome, and there's lots of electronic billboards flashing different advertisements. Most of it seems to be gibberish to you, but every once in a while you see like an image or something as part of it that you recognize, like, oh, I've seen that spirit shack guy talking to, like, I walked by that kiosk kind of thing. And as you're going through, you see a kind of like a wanted poster kind of look pop up that has the four of you flashed onto it. So it looks like someone is out looking for you.
You get in one little fight.
And your mom got scared.
So,
You had to move in with your auntie and your uncle.
I understood that reference.
I feel slightly old now.
so while you're doing that, while you're making your way around the street of Spider Town, will you please go ahead and make me a Dex and Stealth check?
I would be delighted.
Everyone's-
to.
Can I roll,
If you have Streetwise, you can roll that instead.
can I roll a bluff check and crab walk around like a spider?
No.
What's the diff?
Difficulty 6.
This music's very good. I like this.
Three successes on a stealth.
Sweet.
Got 2 successes.
I got 0 successes. The Roll20 algorithm is not happy with me today.
Oh, there we are. I was so zoomed in on one part of the screen.
Awesome. So, as you're making your way around the city, looking for a terminal that you can quietly get to without drawing too much attention to yourselves. Kind of over here looking for a kiosk that you can use. You get the attention of a rather large security spider. And it seems to be checking around, and it's coming over towards your direction.
Has it noticed everybody else or just me?
Seems it hasn't really reacted yet that you're aware of to your presence, but it's definitely heading your general direction.
I'd like to get off the street and find somewhere to hunker down until it passes. Usually, I'm not the one running from the cops.
Strange world, strange world.
Maybe you should start.
Yeah, if I can get us back around the corner here, I'll try to lead everybody back around the corner there.
Yeah, and as you're making your way over, yeah, you can make your way over that way. You do notice that there was a little storefront just down the street that also would have been you could also possibly duck into. It's this one over here.
Maybe we should split up. That way, if it does see one of us, the other group can ambush it.
I don't think anybody wants to fight that, especially split up.
I don't want to fight it either, but it's easier to hide 2 people than it is to hide 4 people.
How do I use my manipulation stat? Jonesy.
Like if you were trying to roll deception or intimidation or something like that.
I want to do a deception check. And I want to throw one of my shoes away from us so it makes a crash on the other side of the street. But I'm having trouble finding the criteria for it. Do you want, let's see. Can I give you a street-wise dexterity check?
This would actually. It's gonna definitely be streetwise, but they're not really trying to talk him into something. That's a really weird one. Actually, that we'll go with Dex and Athletics for that. Since you're trying to distract them, basically, with the.
Oh, I did not do well. I didn't botch it. I just got 0.
Okay. Yeah, so you're able to throw the shoe, no problem. It just doesn't seem to register, do anything that he doesn't seem to respond to it.
So I'm going to shift into Glabro, so I don't have to worry about not having a shoe on, and I will duck with the others.
Kennedy was just going to was going to just kind of lean against the wall, doing the casual. No, we're allowed to be here.
Add casual.
Yeah, basically, that was the idea.
Okay.
I mean, she's got the leather jacket and mirror shades thing. She looks like she belongs in the cyber realm. Sort of.
It kind of, as the little sentry kind of makes its way over. Yeah, Dell's, yeah. Kind of comes over, does a quick, his little green eyes go click, click, and kind of iris open a little bit more. It just kind of looks at you for a minute, and you're pretty sure it's scanning you.
Okay.
And then it's keeps going down the street.
Okay. Kennedy will continue to lean, but keep an eye on it. If it scurries far enough away, well then, once it looks like it's moving away, she'll kind of whistle back and say, "All right, guys, you can come out now. The big bad spider's gone away."
Cool. For those of you who ducked around the corner, will you please make a perception and alertness check?
I'm gonna roll an emasculated by Kennedy check.
Street rats, rats. I don't like that.
There we go. I finally got a success. 4 successes.
Sweet.
One, two. I can't find my wits.
You gotta keep your wits about you, Brian.
Yeah, you said wits and perception, right?
Perception and alertness.
Perception and
Oh.
alertness.
Yeah, there we go. That makes more sense.
We had this discussion that you can't roll wits plus perception because they're both attributes.
Despite what Jonesy might ask you to do occasionally.
Right.
It looks like I might have thrown my contact lenses along with my shoe. I got a 0.
Well, you're also still good.
Well, luckily, Darren did well. So you duck behind the building into another side alleyway. And Darren, you spot 2 of those big-ass spiders up on the wall, higher up on the other side of the alley, slowly making their way down. Right as Kennedy kind of, because that gives you the heads up that it's clear on this side.
Do they look like they have murderous intent?
These, have you seen the? Did you see the tokens? They always look like they have murderous intent. These are giant, bulky spider creatures that are, 10 feet large.
I will casually tell the other 2 to follow me back out to the main street, and as I start to wander out, I'm going to keep an eye on them and see if they increase their pace to follow us. And I'm going to do the thing that dads do, where I'm going to have Killian and Dell go in front of me.
I will do what Dad says.
Sweet.
Oh man, they have murderous intent. I can see them.
Oh, yeah.
So, as you make your way back on the street, like I said, there's the cars, there's the gridlock beetles and stuff driving around. There's a little spirits running around. You see a street guy standing on the spirit of those monotomonous looking, no face detail having humanoid constructs with the end is near sign. He's kind of ringing a bell, the whole bit. And as you guys make your way back, right a couple stories fronts down, there's what looks like a Radio Shack.
That's the place.
And outside, you see a small, glowing sphere-like object kind of just floating in the air. And as you approach it, it kind of floats a little closer to you. And seems to be hovering and looking like floating in the air around you, like about head height, and floats over towards Killian.
Oh no. Oh,
I'm in danger.
I feel like now's the bad time to bring up the stories of Will-O' the Wisp.
what does the spirit of this bankrupt company want from me?
We're going to lead you into good fortune.
Oh, Radio Shack.
You literally can't.
And as you get a little bit closer up to it, Killian, you can see it actually it's not it's sphere like, but it actually has edges. It looks more like a almost like a D20, but the sides aren't quite so sharp. They're a little bit more rounded, and a little bit smooth.
Oh God. Ask us a question.
Oh, magic Radio Shack ball. Do we survive this? I will attempt to shake it.
Yes,
It's a bit. It's a bit.
it fluctuates for a second, and the edges become sharper as it says yes.
How do you
Sorry.
know?
What? How do I know what?
How does it know that we survived this?
It's either psychic or it's a liar.
Are you
No.
endlessly optimistic? Is that why you signed it with Radio Shack?
I might have lost money in that stock, but
And as it says no, the edges become extremely sharp and red, and the whole thing takes like a red tone look to it. And yeah, no.
terminal, please.
I threw an extra bonus dice because Aaron figured it out. So you guys actually have extra bonus dice in the pool for you.
Nice.
What is this thing?
It's a bit. Have you not seen Tron?
My character would say yes, but Brian would say maybe.
Oh God, I feel like an ancient old man.
So once Killian says that, you do recognize it is a spirit. It is one of the lower level. It's one of the lowest rung type of spirits out there. In this case, it can only say one of two things.
Yes and
Yes.
no.
And no.
Oh.
It's literally a bit. It has.
It's a piece of
binary.
code given life.
Yes.
Okay. I will start pointing in a variety of directions and saying terminal until I get a yes.
As you point towards Radio Shack, it says yes.
I will rush my ass over there.
Fuck off. There's no way. Okay. I'm following.
Inside the little shop you go, and as you go into the shop, the group of you have made your way into the shop, and the little bit has followed you. The spiders had come around the corner, and the other one had come back.
We almost got tricked.
Yep.
Good thing we're luckier than we are smart, guys.
So, inside there are lots of computer parts, and unlike and it's actually lots of computer parts. There are video cards and power supplies and just anything you could think that you might need to replace in a computer, whether it's a vintage Tandy or a cutting edge laptop.
Don't tell me most of the terminals here.
And there is one worker working at the store. He appears to be a mannequin-like creature that's kind of like blank-faced and stuff, sitting behind the counter. Welcome. How can we be of assistance? But on the edge of the shelving area, on the little end cap where the end cap would be, you can see there's a terminal, like an employee terminal, where they'd be able to look up, parts and supplies and stuff.
Yeah, I had a question about the item in the back. Can you go grab it so we can look at it?
Certainly. And as you look at the setup for the checkout and stuff, it's got a cash register, but it doesn't seem to take cash. It seems to have little plugins where you take a small little vial of silver liquid and plug it in.
That's a bitch.
Pay in Gnosis and Essence.
Yep.
Essence for the spirits, Gnosis for us. But it's the same stuff. Or close enough.
So don't tell me I have to pay for each upload, or just to open it.
No, that's that. Well, if you want to get in the caches, sure. But so the little spirit goes off to the back, and as it does, the little bit has flown over to the terminal, the employee terminal. Um,
Well, I will try to figure out how to get everybody uploaded out.
Sweet. As Killian's doing that right here at the edge of the little end cap. Darren, you can see through the giant window. The spider has come back, and there's a couple of them outside the door.
We're in danger.
I don't even think I'd die in a radio shack.
I'm gonna go up to the window. I'm gonna flip the open sign to closed.
Work faster.
So, what I will need from you, Killian, is that you need to get the pack from Midtown into the first layer of the web. So first, I'm going to need a intelligence and computer check from you.
Question: is the terminal bolted to the counter?
No.
Okay, I would like to bring it down behind the counter and sit down and work on the terminal away from bullet height.
Understandable.
What's my difficulty?
Difficulty 6.
Okay. Okay, do I have the jitters? I have 4 successes with a 10.
Sweet. Yeah. You can crack into that code right away, and you get past the. It's an internal operating system for Radio Shack and Radio Shack employees only. Nope. It is not connected to the World Wide Web, and I can go anywhere I want. And now I'll need a Gnosis check from you.
Ooh, I have less of that.
It's permanent Gnosis, so.
Might not be a terrible time to use one of our bonus die or use a willpower.
Whoops, I still had my combat wounds. 1 second.
No, we still have those. We haven't healed.
Whoops, I took away my combat wounds. 1 second.
Yeah, you did. He got treated by the.
Yeah, we got treated after the doctor's office. We haven't fought since then.
Which took us from being really wounded to some of us just having bruises or at the first wound level.
Killian got a new arm.
Yeah.
Right.
I got penicillin.
Okay.
Penicillin. Umbral penicillin. It's good for you.
Is this affected by the previous roll?
The Gnosis check is going to be whatever your permanent Gnosis is.
Okay. I got 0 successes.
How did you only roll 2 dice?
Didn't he spend 3 gnosis? Did that not lower his permanent gnosis?
No.
No.
Oh. So Brian, you've got 3 more dice.
So should I put that in the full mod or?
Yeah. It should be because you have a Gnosis of 5. I wonder if it's rolling your temporary for some reason, not your
I think
permanent.
it might be. I got 2 successes.
Sweet. So, as you're hunkered down, playing with the computer, trying to get in, and trying to get everything all set up, the spider is kind of the sides of their torsos kind of open up, and one of them pulls up its front legs, and its front legs split open and reveal and pull back to reveal miniguns. And they start spinning up. And as you go, Control, Alt, Enter, and they begin to spray bullets into the entire room. You see it striking the poor little automaton guy and blowing that spirit to shreds as the 3 of you all kind of shimmer, kind of like Star Trek, and zip and vanish.
Ah, we survived.
3 or 4?
5.
Five.
So, you kind of see that shimmering light for a second as you see the guns start to open up and fire, and then it becomes really bright light, and then the 5 of you are in a small room.
When I start doing the head count, is Bit with us, or is it the employee?
Yes. Nope, it's Bit.
Okay.
And you're standing in a small room. It has a gray floor and gray ceiling and 4 gold walls and 1 door.
4 gold walls and 1 door. Where are we?
I don't know. You're the one who brought us here.
I mean, that's true.
Your best guess is that you're in some sort of junction point between the network.
Okay, so
This
I
is
guess
wild.
we're basically in a switch. Let's open the door.
Can I ask a dumb question?
Yes.
Well, this is as much
sorry.
directed to as it is to you, but go ahead and listen because it's going. I'm sure that Brian's going to have to ask you. If we're in a switch and we need to get to London, can we follow a cyber path to London so that when we come back into the penumbra, we're in London instead of back in New York?
Yes.
I mean, that makes sense to me.
Can you go up to the address bar and delete the .com and put .uk?
Sure.
With that Bit, seems like he's trying to say yes and no at the same time. And
That is
doesn't know
concerning.
Well, I'm thinking it's not as easy as just changing your URL, but
I am no good at this Umbra thing.
Oh, it's not just .com. It's either .co.uk or .org.uk.
Oh. Do we have a NordVPN? We could change our what server we're routing to. Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
So,
but if you're listening,
and they're always listening. So, yeah, you're in this junction room, and
The terminal's gone, right?
yes, you're correct. Literally, there's nothing else in the room. It's a plain room.
Is the door dangerous? Bit. Tell me the future.
No.
Well, good enough for me. I swing that puppy open.
So, upon opening the door, the 4 of you and Bit are instantly outside of that room.
oh god,
Where are we?
Oh no.
we're in
We're in an
We're in-
Atari.
we're in adventure.
Oh no. I'm moving us
I
over to
swear
the
to God.
Roll20 map.
I swear to God, if I have to deal with that fucking duck.
Oh my lord.
And with that, I think that's a great time to take a quick break.
Yeah, okay, sure. I've got to go get my Joy-Con. Be right back. Alright. Everybody go and drink some water, stretch, get a snack. Check out our
Watch
ad
the video of
carousel.
Bit.
Watch the video a bit that we shared in chat. I'll put it again here in case somebody wants to go check it out. And we'll be back in a few minutes.